All right. Once you really dive deep into this, you realize how bad of a deal it is. And the reason why is because this deal is $50 million and it's only worth $20 million. And how I got that is because you have the $10 million that the insurance has given us. Then you have the $30 million that we're going to be paying over a 30-year span. So that's 40 million. And then you got the 5% that we're paying over 30 years, which will equal out to $10 million or so. So now we have $50 million, and this school project isn't worth that much. And the reason why is because I've talked to contractors about this. One guy in particular I talked to told me about it, and he said that this project usually shouldn't take that much because he's done schools, he's done prisons, and he said he did some schools in Texas and all kinds of places, and he said that most of them are housing like 700 to 1,000 kids, and he's spending anywhere from 17 million to 25 million on them. And so you look at that, and we're housing 400 kids as our maximum, and we're spending 50 million. Little Atwood, Kansas is spending 50 million on this. So that's the first problem that we run into. The next problem is that the blueprints are not done. So the blueprints are 30% done. And this contractor was telling me that what you want to do is you get the blueprints completely done, and then you go to contractors and you show them it, and you tell them your budget, and you say, I have this much money. Let's say we have $20 million. I have this much money. What can you do with that? And then the contractor will tell you what they can do with that. And then you go to another contractor, do the same thing. And you go to another contractor and you do the same thing. And all the contractors are bidding against each other. So you're going to get the lowest price that you can get. And the issue is that the salesman, who is also the architect, who is also has the contractor in his back pocket, this Greg Tice, and so he's coming to us and he's selling us on this perfect school, and then what the problem is that he is setting the price. So he's saying, yeah, I'll build you this school. It's going to be $50 million. And so the issue is now the contractor is setting the price, and right away that's a big mistake. So we don't know what we're getting for what we're paying for is the problem. So we have the blueprints only 30% done. And so this guy puts this huge price tag on this school, and here we are biting on this thing. And then all of a sudden, you don't know what you're getting. So we don't know the structure of the building. We don't know how it's going to be, like, is it going to be siding? Are we painting it? What's going on here? Is it tin? And I'm a big believer in brick. I would love a brick building for our kids for many reasons. One, all of the schools are brick because they last the longest. Two, they're the safest for tornadoes. So if you care about your kids' safety, this is a big part right here. You want them in a brick building. And three, you don't have to paint it. You don't have to recite it. It is the cheapest on maintenance. So we're not getting a brick building because I've asked, and we don't know exactly what we're getting. They don't know what they're getting. I think the blueprints is such a big part of this, and the fact that we only have it 30% done is a very bad sign. So it's one of the things that we need more due diligence and research, and we need to kind of be careful how we rush into this thing, because by by not getting that done and throwing this together and haphazardly having this done, and it's not clear and concise, they say the old saying, haste makes waste. And that's what's going on. We're rushing a little too fast into this thing. And by doing that, we are making mistakes. Okay. This is one of them things that this will never come off our taxes, because after 30 years, inflation will have gone up so much that when you take it off, it won't even look like it came off. So understand that once this is on, I don't believe that it's really going to come off. It's going to look like it came off because the taxes rise slowly, but it's not looking good on that part. I'm not optimistic that it's going to be, really taken off. Shilen has their own school, and I don't know how fair that is that Shilen is paying for Atwood's school when they have their own school. And so you got to kind of think about other people in the community. Your kids will not be any smarter from a school because the building doesn't make kids smarter. The only thing that makes your kids smarter, and I'll put in there more athletic, is the systems in place and the people who are teaching your kids. So all these people are talking about how my kids need this, my kids deserve this. And I'm going to get to deserve later on, but your kids don't need this. And if we rush into it, it's going to be a worse deal than if we kind of back up and kind of, take a step back and look at this from a better perspective. Okay. We have everything we need within a 50 to 100-mile radius of this place to build this. So we are outsourcing our money out to Kansas City or Wichita or wherever that Greg Tice is. And so our money is just going poof out into the world, way out yonder where we'll never see it again. But we have all the contractors we need. We have all the people we need right here in this community. And so we want to keep that money here. So if we pay someone to build something, we want to pay them to build it so that the money stays here. By bringing contractors from way far away, we're also paying for hotel rooms and things like that. But if we keep that money here, we got people coming in, they're building, they're making money, and they're going home, they're sleeping in their own bed at night. And so I think that's a real mistake, because I've said this before, we need to benefit off of building this school and not suffer for it. Okay? So with this vote, if we vote yes, we cannot go backwards. There is no way. It is a contract that you're voting on. If you vote yes and it passes, there is no backing up from this deal. Now, however, on the flip side, if we vote it down and we decide we actually want the deal, we can always vote it in again. So I want you to think about that, because if we vote it in and we have 30 years of debt for our children, and we have a school that we don't know what it's going to be like because we don't have the blueprints done, because we don't have the due diligence done, and we're trusting this guy from outside that he's going to do the right thing, that's a big risk. That is a huge risk. So understand that maybe if we just had a little more time, it would be better than rushing into something. So like I said, we can't back up, but we can always go forward. So if you pass it, there's no way of getting out of the contract. It's solid. It's said and done. We are in a $50 million contract for this school that we don't know what it's going to be like. And if you don't vote yes, then we can always go back, re-vote in November. If it's like, oh, we can't do this, okay, we can always vote it in again, and not a big deal. A few months ain't going to make that much difference in the large scheme of things. But a few months could help us tremendously on getting a few more ideas together, okay, so we can make this happen. So I want you to look at the crops right now and see them drying up because we're in a drought. I want you to look at the economy and how it's really gone downhill. And I want you to realize that is this the right thing to put this huge debt on us right away? So I just want you to think about that. A few questions I want you to think about. Is this good for the community? Is this a good deal? Are we getting a great deal? And are we rushing into a disaster? If I am going to go buy a new pickup and I go to a dealership and this pickup is for $120,000, am I just going to buy it and then run away? Or am I going to go across the street to the other dealership with the same pickup and see it for $60,000 and say, man, whew, good thing I shopped around because this one's half price. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. And so, and raising money, there's a lot of things we can do to raise money. So if we had $10 million because of the insurance money, and then we had to raise another 10 million, give or take, I truly believe we can raise money without raising taxes. I believe that we have grant writers in the community. We have people who are tax people that we can figure out how to get people to donate for tax purposes, for tax write-offs. We can do fundraisers, which come back to our kids. So our kids can do fundraisers. And by doing that, they're going to respect the school a lot more than if it's just given to them. If you give a kid a car and say, here you go, you're 16, he or she is not going to respect it. They're not going to care about it because they didn't work for it. But if you tell that kid, go out and mow lawns, go work for a farmer, go out and pull weeds, and they make a little money, and then they go buy a vehicle, even if that vehicle is a piece of crap, they are going to respect it and they are going to love it because they worked for it. So think about that when you think about what people deserve. When you say my kids deserve it, your kids don't deserve it yet. But if we do this with a little more fundraising, a little more tact, I think we could definitely raise the money. And it doesn't have to be $50 million, because if we do our due diligence and we get them blueprint all completely finished, and we can go around and tell them, what can you do for this? Here's our budget. And we could even raise money as it's being built for all the projects we want. And we can make this thing as big and as perfect and as great as we want. But like I said, if we vote yes, and we get into this contract, we are stuck. There's no more options for us. Our options are dead. So, and the last thing I'll leave you with is that this should be something that the community really comes together. Our community needs to be a part of this, not just a few people, but the whole thing collectively. We want to hear people's voices, what they think, what they want, what kind of school they want, everything, all the way down to who we want to put in there for a memorial or anything. We want people to truly be involved with this. And so we don't want it to be like, no, it's just us and you go away. We want this to be something where we are all coming together. We are working together. we are appreciating each other, and we are complimenting each other. We don't want a fight. We are not trying to fight. I am not trying to fight with anybody who believes in this deal. I am just trying to get people to think about this deal before they make their choice. Okay? So I want everybody to really think about what I'm saying, and I want you to spread this video, and I want everybody to pray over it. I want everybody to think about it, and I want this thing to be something where the community comes together and doesn't get separated. I don't want to separate any of the community. I want this thing to be something where we're all involved and we all did this together. And at the end of it, we have the most beautiful school that anybody's ever seen, because we're a community that did this the right way. So thank you. God bless. And I just find it in your heart to talk to your neighbor about this, and to understand that this is a very important decision in our community. And so really think about it. Thank you.